Hit it.
More pantomiming today.
I know, it's pantomime day
is.
on 105. Where'd it go? There we go, on 105.7 KPMX. I'm Andy Rice, Kim Fuller in the studios. This segment sponsored by Choice Real Estate, where, as I understand, you got a job now.
I have a job now.
You have a job there now.
I have a job at Choice Real Estate. I'm so glad.
Congratulations on your new job.
23 years here, so yeah. I'm glad they let me in.
I am
glad
too.
I let myself in. I'm the boss.
You know it's a bad day when your key doesn't fit, right?
Exactly.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing just right. Having a great time today. And you're a big part of it.
Having a great time today. It's been fun.
Always fun having you in the studios, and especially when we get to talk about what is arguably one of the most, what do I want to call it? Rock and roll industries in Sterling these days.
Yeah, it can be a roller coaster.
It really can.
I came across an article this last week about when you have pets.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because pets have an odor, so sometimes you need to take care of those odors in
Sure.
order to get your home sold.
And
So I've got some tips for those for some people. Some of them are probably a little common sense, but it pays sometimes to just touch on things and realize why you're doing them maybe.
Right.
So like right now, open up the windows.
Oh, that's easy.
That's a very easy one. Just let some of that fresh air in. I know we have 2 dogs and an indoor-outdoor cat, so we've got animals. So there are days I walk into my own house and I'm like, ooh, there's a little bit of dog smell in here today. That's so funny because this morning I was noticing that. Yeah.
Summertime gets tough because we leave the windows closed to run air conditioning.
Right, and even in the winter, they're closed for the heat. But in the wintertime even, if it hits 45, 50 degrees, I'm opening strategically windows on each side of the house.
Yeah.
So that whatever breeze is coming, we can push some air through just to get some fresh air. And it's amazing what that will do just to get the fresh air.
Yeah.
Open your windows of an evening at night when it's cooler this summer. Let some of that fresh air in instead of just running the air conditioner all night. Plus, it saves on your utilities if you're cooling from the outside instead of the central air unit. So take that into account. And another thing to think about is when you're cleaning, use some vinegar in your cleaning supplies. Make sure the vinegar is not going to affect your type of flooring or your walls or anything.
Right.
But when you're mopping, if you've got different kinds of floors, you can throw just a little bit of vinegar in that, and that's an odor neutralizer.
I did not know that.
It is. You wouldn't think as bad as vinegar smells,
right,
that it would eliminate odor, but there's some, don't ask me, I'm not a chemist, that's my children, but something in there does that.
Okay.
And there's also products you can get for different types of flooring that are odor neutralizing as well.
But just knowing something is like good old-fashioned vinegar, just a teaspoon and a gallon or whatever, can help.
Just Google the recipe
and do
that. And another thing that's easy to do is sometimes just take your drapes down and wash them. If they're not washable in like your machine, you may have to take them to the dry cleaners or something. But also, we have a steam cleaner. And I have a handheld steam cleaner that I take over my drapes and steam them out. And I also do that we've got, I don't know what it's called. It's kind of like a microfiber couch and chairs.
Right.
I tested it first in an inconspicuous spot, but I do steam clean those as well because we do allow our dogs are part of our family and they sleep on the couch. Yeah.
Sure.
So I do a couple times a year. I'll go in and steam those up. And you know, those are things you need to do even if you're not selling, just because you're living there.
Because you're living there. And another thing, give those dogs a bath once in a while.
Yeah, that definitely helps as well.
Grooming them.
Yep.
We can only give one of our dogs a bath. The other one's a Siberian Husky, and that takes professional help. She just has got too much fur, man. But we do that every once in a while because she gets funky.
They do. Just like us, if we didn't take a shower every day, we get funky too. Do that. Another simple thing is cleaning the carpets. If you've got carpets instead of laminate or wood floors, you can get those probably professionally cleaned. Those guys have a little bit better chemicals to get those odors out, but it really helps. And sometimes if your damage is so bad that there's been urine and messes, I'll just stop at the urine, but it's seeped into your subfloor.
Ooh.
Or if you have a male dog that's been finding a corner wall in your house or something.
To mark?
You may either have to replace that part of it.
Okay.
If it's severe, sometimes, because if it starts to crumble the wood or the drywall, you need to replace it, do it right.
Right.
If it's still in good shape, you may need to use some Kills paint
Boy,
over either of them.
That stuff works.
It does. So use that, and then and if it's a carpeted area, just paint it. Paint the subfloor with that Kills, and that will seal in those odors, and then you can go back in with your carpet or your laminate or whatever. And those are a little more extreme cases, but you don't want those coming up, because if you conceal it too much, and then sometimes people ask, buyers will ask, well, I want the carpets professionally cleaned the day before we move in because I want to make sure I've got clean carpets. They go in and clean those carpets, well, they get the moisture on it, and that draws those smells back up. So even if it's a brand new carpet or fairly new carpet, it may bring those smells back to the surface. So do it right. I know our motto at our house is once and done. So do it right the first time, and then there's no issues down the way.
In our old house, we had exactly that issue. And we decided at one point to replace flooring, subfloor. A lot of subfloor had to get replaced. We were replacing a floor furnace.
Right.
And so we had a lot of that going. And there was one spot that the flooring was good, but it was stained. And I could smell it after 2 days,
Yeah.
And so we decided it took a couple of coats of Kills.
Right.
And sometimes it does. But that is the best stuff on the market that I've found.
Well, it's what, $40, $45 a gallon maybe at the most. I'm thinking that's probably even high. So figure, depending on the area, you may only need 1 can of it, and you may not even use all of it. And so if you can put a couple coats on it just to get that area sealed and taken under control, it makes a huge difference. Because people don't want to walk in the house and you've got potpourri out, and you've got plug-ins in the wall for scent, and you've got candles burning in every room. Buyers look at me and say,
what are they covering?
What are they covering up? It's pretty smelly in here. So they look for that too. And if you over scent, even if you don't have pet odors or other types of odors, they're going to think that you're hiding something.
So there's another
a balance there.
There's another additional clue, even if you're not trying to cover up pet odors or something like that. Be careful and be, what do I want to say, judicious in your use of odorizer. Some folks even have a bit of an allergy.
They do. They'll walk in and say, "Oh, there's just too many scents in here. I gotta go. I can't. My asthma or whatever
causes headaches."
That kind of thing. So they've got to get back out. So you've got to be really cognitive with that.
Yeah.
And just if you've got pets that perhaps are very odorous pets, I'm thinking like, what are those little? Not a gerbil. It's a little rat-looking thing.
Oh, the ferret.
Ferrets.
Yeah, they're real musky.
They smell. So you may just have to relocate your pet while you're trying to sell your house, because there's really, I don't think anything you can do about the smell of their cage at any point in time. I think it's just the way they are. So if you've got an animal that you just can't control the smells, maybe ask a friend, a relative to babysit your animal for a couple of months while we get things going.
If it's cool enough out there, you might find a place like in the garage or something even.
Yeah. Warm enough, cool enough, depending on the seasons. Yeah, definitely. Because those odors do affect how buyers perceive your home.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. And if you've ever bought a home, or if you've lived in enough rentals, you know that pet odors can be, they take special attention to get rid of.
They do, and I'm not criticizing anybody. Like I said, I've got 3 animals myself. They're on the furniture, on my bed.
Right.
And I get that. I love mine too, but there's just a little extra care that we need to do to keep our homes from smelling that way. Because even if you came over to visit, I wouldn't want you coming in and thinking, ooh, your dogs really stink.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to, visit real fast and get out because I can't stand to be in here. Yeah.
If people want to find out more, these are tips that you have found, and you pass them on your Facebook page and on your website and all that stuff.
Correct, and our newly formed YouTube. So you can check out Choice Real Estate in Sterling, Colorado on YouTube as well. And if you've missed an episode, you can see these radio shows on there.
Nice.
You can also see them on our website, on our blog, which it's kind of cumbersome to find the blog. It's I can't even think of the tab right now. I kind of have to search for it. So I'm going to see if we can adjust that so the blog is found a little bit easier. But also we put up a tour of one of our listings this last week, and that's gone really well. We've had a lot of hits on that. So just check us out. We're trying to be everywhere you are.
Choice Real Estate, just go to homesatchoice.com, spell the word at as well as all the other words. 521-2735.
Correct.
That's the telephone number. 111 North 3rd Avenue is your address, right?
Avenue, yeah.
Avenue, always do that. Facebook, YouTube.
Google us if you can't remember any of that. Just put us in your search engine. We'll be there.
Fantastic. Well, enjoy your weekend, Kim.
I'm going to. You too.